Good evening, everybody. If you're seeing this video and wondering to yourself, Kano, where's Mad Meta Magic? That means I didn't have time to record Mad Meta Magic because the deck that I intend to play is going to be slightly longer in theoretical recording hours. So we're going to play a Vintage Cube, and then tomorrow will be Mad Meta Magic if it wasn't yesterday. Yes. Fitting we take Time Walk for such a confusing conversation about scheduling. So yeah, Time Walk. Pack 2. So, Pack 2, we got a lot of good cards in Pack 2. So we have Spell Pierce, which is a very good counterspell. There's obviously Channel, Chart a Course, Ancient Tomb, and Strip Mine. I think I'm going to stay in blue, simply because I want to kind of stay open, and blue tends to get snapped up very quick. Spell Pierce is also a very good card in Vintage Cube. I would not mind Chart a Course. I think Ancient Tomb is great, but I'm gonna take Spell Pierce because it seems to be the most logical pick for me. I could have taken Channel and gone into or Devoted Druid and gone into like the green blue ramp deck again, because if you have Time Walk, you can start taking things like Recollect or Eternal Witness or the Megamorph Eternal Witness if it's still in the cube. I don't actually know. And then like Snapcaster, and you just buy back Time Walk a whole bunch of times, which can be really fun. But I don't know how open green is going to be, and I'm probably not playing Channel in that deck anyway. We'll see. All right. So in this pack, we have Llanowar Elves, we have Turnabout. There is also Phantasmal Image, some Jund-colored lands. I think the pick here is either Turnabout or Llanowar Elves. Llanowar Elves makes sense because I could go into that green-blue deck I was talking about. I think Time Walk decks are most powerful. So Time Walk seems to be the most powerful in, like, blue-white, where you just, like, aggressively play dudes and then take extra turns. And then I think it's next most powerful in the green-blue deck. So I'm going to try and pick for that deck. Red seems pretty open, so maybe if all else fails, we play like an Izzet deck. If I get like Dak Faden or something like that, then we'll play the Izzet control Planeswalkers deck with a Time Walk in it. So we're looking for like Mystical Tutor, Spellseeker. Holy crap, Days or Miscalc. So both of these cards are very good. I'm not even really considering anything else in this pack at the moment. Bitter Blossom, I think, is the next best card I would take. And it is very good. The question is, do I think Miscalc or Days is going to be better for what we're doing? Days has the surprise factor of you can cast it for free. It can let you replay a land. Miscalc is good because at worst it always just draws you a card. And I think it's a little bit better. Just for the cycling aspect of it, I think I'm going to take Miscalc. And this is arguable. I don't think taking Days is incorrect here by any standard. I think just Miscalc is going to be better in what we're doing right now. I'm seeing some Storm cards like Gush and whatnot coming around. I wouldn't mind a Gush, but I think I would only take it if it came around again. I think Wall of Roots might be the play. Otherwise, there's Questing Beast. Like, Questing Beast is very strong. And if we're going to be in green, it's fantastic. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to take Gush. Might as well try for it, right? Seagate Stormcaller is awesome because we can just play Seagate Stormcaller and then play Time Walk. And that's fantastic. There's also an Oracle of Moldiah, Tireless Tracker, Plow Under, and Nissa. So something from this pack should come around to us. Also, this is 6th pick, and there's a ton of green cards in this pack, so I'm going to take Seagate Stormcaller just because I want to synergize with Time Walk as much as possible. I initially started this draft with the notion that maybe I was going to try and draft a win because we did trophy our last 2 Vintage Cubes, and I'm like kind of on this trophy streak at the moment, but who knows? We'll see. So in this pack, we have Manamorphose if we want to go kind of like a Storm route, which is still possibly open. Or we can take Hoof. I'm kind of fine speculating for Hoof, because I did see a lot of green cards, so I'm going to take Hoof. I may not even end up playing Crater Hoof. It's all kind of dependent on whether or not we have a bunch of low-drop creatures that are good, and if we get like Natural Order or a way to tutor for it, how much ramp we have, all things considered. Alright, in this pack, there's Monastery Mentor. There's also Freelis, Heartbeat of Spring, and Bloodbraid. I think Mentor is probably correct here. I think this card is on a different power level than most of the cards in this pack, and like we could go blue-white with Time Walk, like I was saying. I think that deck is stronger. Okay, so there's a Primal Command, which could be good. I don't think this is a Lotus Bloom deck. It wants us to take Goldspan Dragon. That card is very good, but to me, I think the pick here is between Primal Command and Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning synergizes with Seagate Stormcaller. Primal Command is really only if we're in the green deck. I'm going to take Chain Lightning. Okay, I like Copperline Gorge. I don't think I would play Silverblade Paladin, even if I was blue-white. I think this card is a little bit underpowered. Like, it's good, but it's not great. I'll take Copperline Gorge. That would let me splash Chain Lightning in the green deck. There's a Beast Within or a Raging Ravine. I think I'm going to take Beast Within. I'm not seeing a lot of white, which means we're probably not playing Mentor. I'm also not seeing, like, the few Storm cards we saw going around coming around, so, like, there's no Turnabout, because it's a good card, but it only fits in a few decks. We could take Birthing Pod and do some kind of, like, blue-green pod shenanigans. I like Bitter Blossom a lot, though. I could also take Lingering Souls. I'm going to take Bitter Blossom. Questing Beast and Wall of Roots came all the way around. I like Questing Beast. Questing Beast is very strong. Then we have Plow Under or Nissa. I think Nissa is correct because I'm going to want basically as much card advantage as I can get. I'll take Metamorphose. I might even just play that card for fixing. Okay, so we have more options. I don't think Storm is going to be open, even though Time Spiral is pretty insane. I think the pick for us here is going to be either Ashiok, Courser, Garruk, or Remand. Remand is also very strong in this format. It's kind of like a pseudo Time Walk. Ashiok is a fantastic win condition, and we are already kind of considering splashing black for Bitter Blossom. If I had 3 mana Narset or something like it already, I would take Time Spiral. Maybe I should still take Time Spiral. I think I'm going to take Remand, though, because this card I would play in basically any blue deck. Time Spiral requires a little bit more consideration in deck building. I don't really want to pass Ashiok because it's super good. Prismatic Vista is also perfect fixing no matter what, but I think Remand is probably the strongest card for us there. Okay, something to note, second pack, there's a Regrowth, and Regrowth should make it all the way around. It's definitely a card we want because it's going to do a lot of work. So we can take Torrential Gearhulk, Avenger of Zendikar. I do have red splash ability. I could take Wheel of Fortune. I don't really want to. So Torrential Gearhulk can hit Remand, Miscalc, Spell Pierce, and potentially Gush. Yeah, I'll take Gearhulk. Alright, there's a Click, Deranged Hermit, Avacyn's Pilgrim, Gigantic White Creatures, Selesnya Signet. Click is really good. I'm kind of in an awkward position right now where I really want green mana dorks because I have Craterhoof, or I want flash threats to take advantage of the fact that I have like 2 mana disruptive spells and Time Walk. I think it is less likely for me to get the green cards I need to make Hoof work, so I'm going to pick Vendilion Click here. Okay, in this pack there is Flame Slash, Garruk, Char, Control Magic, and Emry. Control Magic is incredibly strong. Flame Slash and Char, I don't think I'm playing red at this point. I don't know. I also don't know if I'm playing black for Bitter Blossom. We're not seeing a ton of fixing. We are seeing some. I think Control Magic is best. It's kind of like removal plus your opponent's best threat. Ren and 6 would be great, but I don't have any fetch lands, and I missed Stomping Ground already. I think I take Spellseeker just as an additional copy of Time Walk, basically. Hopefully something good from this pack wheels, because we kind of know a little bit more of what we're doing by the time it does. Gruul Signet is fixing / ramp, which could matter. There's also Elder Gargaroth. We could take Temple Garden if we wanted to splash Swift Spear. We could also take Steam Vents if we wanted to splash like our burn spell. I think I take Steam Vents in this pack. Green has mostly been open, and I wouldn't mind Gargaroth. We also don't have a ton of ramp to get to Gargaroth, and we're kind of playing this weird control-y deck. I think Steam Vents is going to potentially open up some other options for us, so I'm going to take it. Wow, white is just wide open. Council's Judgment, Skyclave Apparition. I don't think I'm taking Dark Ritual. There's like nothing for us in this pack, and I'm being a little bit indecisive. I'm probably going to take Inferno Titan because I think if I'm playing any third color, it's red. Even though there's a lot of good white coming around now. I think somebody is already in white, so I'm going to take Inferno Titan. Okay, there's Mind's Desire. Seasoned Pyromancer is great. I don't currently have the red fixing to support it. I could get to that, though. But, like, in a deck like this, we can just, like, gush Mind's Desire. And that's probably going to be good. There is some small chance that the rituals come around, too. And I love Storm. This is definitely not the pick. The pick is definitely to take something like Elves of Deep Shadow. Yeah, I'll take Elves of Deep Shadow. That's what I'm supposed to take. Alright, I will take Stomping Ground here. I would not mind Garrick, but now I'm kind of the point where I could splash red if I want to and feel comfortable doing so. I will take Show and Tell. I'm probably not playing it just because I'm terrible at casting Show and Tell. Banefire is decent red splashable removal. Deranged Hermit is good. I think I take Deranged Hermit. I will take Char. Glorybringer is good. So I might be playing red now. It means I'm taking Avalanche Riders and Wildfire, even though I think Wildfire would be quite bad in this deck. Alright, hopefully pack 3's got some good stuff for us. I need a red fetch land. Like Wooded Foothills I think would be best. Or Scalding Tarn would also be good. I'm kind of upset that Recollect did not come around. Or if it did, I completely forgot about it. But I didn't see it. And it's not frequent. Like, that card should not be frequently high picked, so that probably means somebody else in my pod like opened Ancestral Recall. Okay, I think Dak Faden. Yeah, I think Dak Faden is the take here. Like, I could take Polluted Delta. Counterspell is great. Yeah, I definitely want Dak Faden. We're not stormy enough for High Tide, so Factor Fiction, Dreadhorde Arcanist. Is it Signet Mana Leak? Is it Signet is rampant? Oh, Soulfire Grandmaster. But, can I splash white for the infinite time walks? My fixing is not great. I do have Mentor, so it wouldn't be completely unreasonable. I think the pick is Mana Leak. Like, nobody takes this card. So if it comes, or I'll keep an eye out. We already passed Temple Garden, but, like, if I get a fetch, like an Arid Mesa or something, I might consider taking that when it comes around again. I'm definitely taking Mana Leak, though. The 2-mana counterspells are just so good in this format. Natural Order, we do have Hoof. There's a Cryptic Command, which with as much counterspells as we have would actually be kind of good. The problem is Natural Order requires us to sack a green creature, and we don't have too many of those. It's also double green, and when I was thinking originally we were probably base green, that is maybe not the case anymore. It's still one of the most powerful cards in this pack. And I mean, we have Torrential Gearhulk. There's also Glenalandra. Something is screaming to me that Natural Order is wrong here. But we have Craterhoof. We just don't have a ton of creatures. I'm going to take Natural Order. I like Lightning Bolt for removal. Frantic Search is not bad. We could have had a really, really good Storm deck if I had been forcing Storm this league. Krasis is a good creature. Finale of Devastation is better if you have a bunch of ramp, and we don't. I think we just take Lightning Bolt. I like Dryad. Dryad is ramp and fixing. Commit to Memory is not bad. Abbott is a bit more aggressive than I think I want to be. Okay, I like Jace a lot. I think Cosima is just too slow. There's a Razor Verge Thicket if I want to speculate on the Soulfire Grandmaster, but I'm not. I don't think I do. I think it would have to be a fetchable duel, and I would have to have a fetch land before it came around, and that's asking a lot of this pack. So I'm going to take Jace, because I know Jace is going to be good in this deck. There's a red fetch, which can get us Steam Vent's Stomping Ground or a Mountain. We do have a decent amount of removal. We have Krark the Thumbless. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return it to your hand. If you win the flip, copy the spell. I feel like that's bad with the counter spells we have. I think Bloodstained Mire is the pick, because it does make our mana a little bit better, and we have plenty of playables. Dimir Signet's an off-color Signet. I think I would rather just take more burn here. We're kind of like almost counter burn. I'll take Incinerate. There's a Marsh Flats, which doesn't currently fetch anything. Tree Speaker is really good. This card is almost Soul Ring, which Soul Ring is insane, and being almost Soul Ring is pretty good. It's not insane, but it's pretty good. So I'm gonna take that. Dreadhorde Arcanist. We do have 2 bolts. Otherwise, there's a Wall of Blossoms or the Swiss Army Knight. This could be an Arcanist deck a little bit. We're not taking the Ritual. Wall of Blossoms, we don't want to tap out on 2. And Arcanist is a little more proactive, so I'll take Arcanist. I don't know if I'm playing Arcanist, but I'll think about it. This is definitely one of the stranger decks I've ever drafted. I don't think I'm aggressive enough for Hellrider, but I don't think I'm playing any black cards. I guess I could, because I do have Bitter Blossom and I have a single Bloodstained Mire, but put Hellrider in the side, I guess. Krasis is great. I'll play a Krasis. So I don't think I'm playing Burning of Jinye. Start cutting cards. I really want to play Natural Order Hoof in this deck because it's the last deck that anyone would expect Natural Order for Crater Hoof. If I had like Primeval Titan or Woodfall Primus, I would feel a lot better about it, but at the same time, I don't know how much green we're going to be playing in this deck. Presumably a lot if we're playing a bunch of double green cards. Atarka is another Natural Order target, which actually makes Natural Order kind of reasonable. Vannifar, we technically do have a curve of creatures. This Vannifar could actually be really good. Tide Hollow Sculler to the sideboard. Alright, what the hell did I draft? Okay. I don't think I'm playing Beast Within in the main deck. We're probably not going to have enough islands to gush consistently. Torrential Gearhulk is fine. We do have a lot of instants. But I think I'm cutting basically anything that's double blue, unless it's insanely good. Like, I'm willing to keep Click and probably Control Magic. I don't think I need Avalanche Riders. Incinerate might be a little bit too much burn. Char is okay because it does 4 instead of 3. I think I have to cut down on double green or double red cards. Let me think about this. If I'm cutting double red cards, it means I'm going down Glorybringer Inferno Titan, which would break the Vannifar chain of insane creatures. But that's also really ambitious. I highly doubt that Vannifar is going to do anything other than interact with this section of our curve. But, like, paying the Echo cost on a Deranged Hermit and then turning it into an Inferno Titan would be awesome. Yeah, I think red is going to be the splash color, which means I'm dropping Inferno Titan and Glorybringer. Dreadhorde Arcanist probably needs to come out, simply because it's only going to be flashing back Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning, and I think sometimes that's going to be enough, and a lot of the rest of the time it's not going to work. We don't have a ton of ramp, and maybe that makes Krasis bad, but the on-cast draw trigger I think is going to be really good. Like, even if we just get a card or 2 off of it, and if we ramp with our 1 mana dorks and, like, Dryad, we might actually get somewhere pretty insane. Even though Manamorphose is kind of a do-nothing spell, I think I need it for mana fixing. I basically don't want to cut any of my 1 or 2 drops at this point. I probably should cut Click, but Click is really aggressive, and I've got too many opposing things going on right now. I'm gonna cut Vannifar. I've got the makings of basically a really good tempo deck that's like blue-red, and then but I only have like half of that strategy, and the blue part of that overlaps with half of a blue-green ramp deck, but then I don't have enough of that strategy to actually make a deck. Our blue is really good, though. Said every player who's ever tapped an island. So I need to cut approximately 2 cards. We basically curve out at 4. We have Deranged Hermit at 5, and Atarka and Craterhoof we basically hope are never in our hand. We really needed like 2 more green mana dorks to sack to Natural Order. Maybe that's a reason to play Vannifar, just because it's another green creature. This is very tough. I don't want to cut Spellseeker because we do have Time Walk. It also grabs a whole bunch of different spells. Jace is going to be very good, just as a looter, but if he ever flips, he can flashback some of our higher power stuff. No, I still don't think it's worth it to run Vannifar. I'm sorry I'm taking so long. I'm sure everybody here is kind of getting bored of the commentary by now. Just, Kano, cut cards and go. Alright, I'm going to cut Char. We have a ton of counter spells, so we're not going to need that much burn, and I think the 1 mana burn is going to be way more efficient. We're also just lightly splashing red for about 5 cards now, which makes me feel a lot better about the mana base. And Manamorphose can even technically be a green card, so I could cut Manamorphose. I guess I don't need it at this point, because the color requirements got a lot more forgiving. Our curve is actually like not that bad either. And then we have this monstrosity sitting on top of it. Okay, hang on. What does that put us at? 16 lands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red sources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green sources. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue sources. I think I want to trim 1 mountain for an island. Maybe even another mountain, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red sources. I think we only really need about 5. So we either need another green or another blue source. I think this is fine. We'll have to play with it to see, and I might adjust it mid-league. Alright, we're good to play for round 1. Alrighty. Round 1, here we go. No blue mana. But we do have a Llanowar Elves and a Lightning Bolt. If we draw blue, this hand is great. If we draw a third land, we get the Questing Beast or Control Magic. I think we had a mulligan, though. Alright. This hand's got a little bit more potential. Come on, blue mana. We do have 7 blue sources, I think. Opponent Shelldock Isle. We draw Control Magic. Play Elves of Deep Shadow. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 1. We want to draw blue mana so bad. Opponent suspends Riftwing Cloudskate. There it is. Go to combat. Attack for 2. We'll leave up Remand and Mana Leak. I don't think it's worth time walking yet. Opponent plays a Plains. Brimaz. Let's remand. We get a Spell Pierce. We untap. Draw Jace. I think we gotta leave up Mana Leak. Go to combat. Attack for 2. World's Worst Tempo deck, go. Pass the turn. Cloudskate ticking down. Opponent plays a Rishadan Port. Looter Eelcore. Do we care about the Looter? I don't think so. I think we let them have Looter. I want another blue source. We untap. They're going to port our blue mana. That sucks. We draw Questing Beast. We need blue. I need that blue. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 2. I should have mana leaked the Looter. Okay, Cloudskate coming off suspend. They're going to bounce a Mana Dork. Probably Llanowar Elves. They're going to bounce our Forest. Interesting. I mean, this does get to set us back a little bit. Although I think bouncing a Dork was better. They play Big Gids. They kill a Dork, and they hit us for 1. They're not attacking because they want to have us... they want to force us to attack into Gideon during target opponent's next turn. So if I time walk here, I will no longer have to attack. So play a Forest, playing around Daze. Time walk. Untap. Oh, they down-ticked Gideon. What am I talking about? I was still going to do exactly what I did just then, but... So if I play Questing Beast, I can attack my opponent, and then it deals 4 damage to Gideon. That's pretty good. So play Questing Beast. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. Kill Gideon. Opponent is at 9. Pass the turn. Do we know our opponent is holding a Brimaz? They attack us for 3. They get to loot. I need another island so bad. They loot away an island. They play Flicker Wisp. Bouncing Riftwing Cloudskate. Playing a Hallowed Fountain tapped. Cloudskate comes back into play. They bounce Questing Beast. Alright. Then they can port our island on our upkeep. We can't do anything about that. Oh, they port Copperline Gorge. Interesting. We draw an island. This prevents us from casting Questing Beast. I could Control Magic here. Take like their Flicker Wisp. I think it's better to play Jace and leave up Mana Leak though. We're going to tap like this even though it's painful. This might make them port on their own turn to take us off of blue. They play Sword of Fire and Ice. I am going to Mana Leak that, because now if Jace loots, he can flashback Time Walk, and they either have to pay for Sword, or they get to equip it later. Okay, they do pay for it. They go to combat. They attack us for 3. They're leaving back Flicker Wisp because of Questing Beast. They loot away Izzet Signet. Alright, we untap. Draw Seagate Stormcaller. Oh yes, perfect. So, loot, dump, control magic, flip Jace, cast Stormcaller, downtick Jace, flashback Time Walk, and I'm gonna bolt Flicker Wisp so they can't block. We get to Time Walk twice. Oh, this is perfect. This is a really sketchy hand, and Time Walk absolutely carried us. So untap. We draw Hydroid Krasis. Uptick Jace. Yeah! Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I think instead of a mountain, I want another island. Like, we barely need the red mana, and we need the blue mana so desperately. That's a mulligan. What is with no blue mana? Yeah, we're going to 5. Alright. I don't want to put back Time Walk. I'll put back Chain Lightning and Seagate Stormcaller. I should have kept the Chain Lightning, but I don't want to put back Time Walk. Put it as Mox, so it's not like their deck isn't at least powered. Wish I'd kept the Chain Lightning. Okay. Play Copperline Gorge, play Llanowar Elves, pass the turn. We can maybe get a quick natural order into a Tarka. This is not going to be a natural order for Hoof, almost guaranteed. But it loots away a Plains, plays an Usher of the Fallen. We untap, we draw Steam Vents, play an island, Time Walk, next turn, untap, play Forest, natural order. Now is Questing Beast or a Tarka better? 5 damage among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers your opponents control. I think Questing Beast we could actually recast if they bounce it, though. A Tarka answers their board. I'm gonna go with a Tarka. I mean, if they bounce it, that's all we can do. Like, this is the best we can hope for, I think. Opponent untaps, plays an island. We untap, draw Jace, go to combat, attack them for 8, play Mountain to play around Miscalc, play Jace. Jace resolves. Okay, opponent Venser, probably bouncing a Tarka. They were worried about us having a counterspell. Opponent plays Karn, Scion of Urza. They can have Day of Judgment or Sword. We'll give them Day. Sword in the Exile Zone. They attack us for 2. We need to get 2 cards into the grave. I would really like a Lightning Bolt. Bloodstained Mire does flip Jace. So play Bloodstained Mire, crack it, get our only Stomping Ground, untapped, loot, dumping Forest, flip Jace, flashback Time Walk. That's so good. Untap, we draw Forest, uptick Jace on Venser, play Steam Vents tapped, pass the turn. Next turn we can hardcast a Tarka. And my opponent probably downticks Karn to pick up Sword, then play and equip it. Then they can attack us, shock Jace, and draw a card. And a Tarka can no longer kill Venser. But if they do that, a Tarka can kill Karn. Okay, they uptick. I'm going to give them Ponder over Monastery Mentor, just in case they have a bunch of cheap spells in hand. Opponent plays a land, plays Brimaz, ponders. Not the order I would have played those cards, but, you know, you do you, opponent. We untap and draw Questing Beast. I could play Questing Beast, shrink Brimaz. It's probably better to just a Tarka, though, unless they have a counterspell. If they have Mana Leak, we need to play Questing Beast this turn. I'm going to start by upticking on Brimaz. I'm going to say his name different every single time. Play a Forest, play around Mana Leak, play Questing Beast, go to combat, attack our opponent, hit them for 4, shoot Karn, down to 3, pass the turn. Opponent is in the think tank. We've already used up our Time Walk. We can flashback Natural Order for Craterhoof, I guess. And we can cast on the Tarka. We know they're holding Day of Judgment. Opponent makes a Construct. It's a 2/2. They play a Signet. They'll have at least one creature capable of blocking. They play Flicker Wisp. They're going to Flicker Venser. Okay. So Venser enters on the end step. Let's see what they bounce. Jace, Telepath Unbound. Okay. Can we just kill them with a Tarka? Like, I play a Tarka, we kill, like, Flicker Wisp, Brimez, and then attack our opponent for 4. They have to block with Construct. If I had one more mana, I could hold up Spell Pierce, but that doesn't do anything versus Day of Judgment. I still have to cast a Tarka. I can't kill all of their creatures with power 3 or more. Alright. Actually, we can do this, which seems way more efficient. Now they have to block with Brimez, and they're probably going to cast Day of Judgment next turn, which then opens the way for us to have Jace. Yeah, they have to block. Okay. So Death Touch, we kill both of these things. We lose Questing Beast. I forgot the token's already blocking. Pretty sure my opponent has to Day of Judgment. They just don't have an option. Okay. So opponent has one card in hand and is now top decking. We untap, draw an island, play an island, play Jace, pass the turn. We have a Spell Pierce if my opponent was to cast like 6 mana Elspeth or something. Okay. Opponent passes. We untap. We draw Control Magic. Loot. Pitch an island. Flip Jace. Nothing really worth flashbacking, so uptick. Like maybe we just go for alt now? None of our opponent's creatures have flash, so we probably can Control Magic the first threat they play, unless it's a Planeswalker. Black Lotus. Opponent's deck is very good. They have a blue Mox and they have Black Lotus. Red mana? Why red mana? Nahiri the Harbinger. Okay. They loot. Discarding Arid Mesa. Gideon! Spell Pierce! Get him! Oh, Spell Pierce so good. Problem is, Nahiri ulting probably kills us. And Jace front half is good for card advantage. Jace back half is not. So uptick Jace. Pass the turn. I hope my opponent plays out a creature that I can steal, and that they don't have an Emrakul in their deck. So if they have an Emrakul, we're just dead, because we're at 14. Okay, they pitch Chrome Mox to draw a live card. Then pass. Okay, Krasis is pretty good. Oh man. Do we go for broke? I think what we do here is we Krasis X1 and then flashback Natural Order to minimize the chance that we draw Hoof and attack Nahiri to stop her from ulting. The other option is we try and go deep with Krasis, but I don't think that's good. I could go X2 to draw a card, but if I draw any cards, the odds are I'm going to draw Crater Hoof. So play Krasis as a 1/1 flyer. Play the Forest to play around Spell Pierce. Flashback Natural Order. Sack Krasis. Get Hoof. Hoof pumps himself to 6. Go to combat. Attack Nahiri. Okay, Nahiri goes to 2. They can kill Nahiri to exorciate Hoof. They don't. They loot away an island to Shelldock Isle. They play Thieving Skydiver. We untap. Draw an island. Control Magic. Play an island. Go to combat. Kill Nahiri. We're only 1 damage away from killing them outright now. The problem is whatever they just put under Shelldock is probably really scary. And they may have just been splashing Nahiri and not actually have like an Emrakul, but there is a decent chance that we get Emrakuled here off of Shelldock Isle. Here it comes. Winds of Abandon. Okay, we get an island. That was way less scary than it had the possibility of being. Opponent is casting something big. Frost Titan. That is a problem. We untap. We draw Spellseeker. Play Spellseeker. Spellseek for... I think it's Chain Lightning, flashback Chain Lightning, paying extra to kill Frost Titan. Do I have enough? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. because it's 2 extra each time. It's so close. Like, I should just target my opponent because it's so close, but if I just attack them with hoof. Yeah, I think we've got a double bolt Frost Titan. We only need a turn, really, of like attacking. Chain Lightning Frost Titan. Pay full price. Flashback Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning Frost Titan. Pay full price. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. Something else? Really? A Wrath? They had Wrath of God. Okay, we untap. We draw a Mana Leak, which probably is not going to do too much at this point. I would have almost rather had Remand. Pass the turn. This is a good game. Good game of Magic. Opponent untaps. Signet is not scary at all, though makes Mana Leak even worse. We draw Nissa. Play Nissa. Do we even have any forests left? Yeah! Oh, sweet. Play Forest. Flip Nissa. Make a legendary 4/4 token that will kill our opponent in 2 swings. Uptick Jace, no targets. Pass the turn. We have Mana Leak. Opponent has way too much mana for Mana Leak to probably be good. Alright, they are passing. We untap. We draw Vendilion Click. Uptick Nissa. We hit Dryad. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 4. They have Path. Get our last basic. Second main. Play Dryad. We'll click our opponent on their draw step. Uptick Jace. No targets. Longest game 2 ever. Okay, opponent draws. Vendilion Click. Take a look. Preordain? Preordain is better than a random card in their deck, because it lets them look 3 cards deep. So shuffle away Preordain. Watch them have something else completely insane. Thank God. It's just... Oh, I fought so hard for that match. Our deck performed pretty good, so I'll see you guys in round 2. Alrighty, round 2. We've won the die roll. I would like to play first. I can't keep a hand with no land. This, however, seems good. I will keep and put back Elves. If we draw another blue source, we have access to click then. And then we can also Seagate Stormcaller Time Walk after spell seeking for Time Walk. I'm going to lead on Mountain to protect myself from Strip Mine, because we need blue mana so bad. I forgot to take out an additional Mountain. We're against green. Opponent did mulligan to 6. We draw a Lightning Bolt. Bolt the Dork. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Mutavault. Passes. We draw Dryad. Play a Mountain. Play Spellseeker. We'll go grab Time Walk. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest into a Nissa. I would really like an island. They tutor up a Forest. Okay, we draw an island. Perfect. Play an island. Pass the turn. We will stop on my opponent's draw step and click them. Take a look at what's going on. They have Pelucranos, Phyrexian Revoker, and Coalition Relic. So they probably play Pelucranos this turn, which is a fairly decent clock. I think I take this from them. And it also, like, Pelucranos potentially, like, so they played a Forest, they played a Coalition Relic. They're not animating Mutavault or attacking. Alright, we untap. We draw an island. Play an island. Play Seagate Stormcaller. Cast Time Walk. Copy Time Walk. Go to combat. Hit them for 3 in the air. We untap. First extra turn. Draw Forest. Play Forest. Go to combat. Attack with the team. I don't care if they kill Spellseeker, and if they trade off for Seagate Stormcaller, that's also fine. Okay, they're trading off Nissa. They take 3. We play Dryad. Now we untap. Second extra turn, we draw Elves of Deep Shadow, which is not particularly great. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 5. Play Elves. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a land. 5 mana, they have Whisperwood Elemental. Well, it's a race. It's a face race. Opponent manifests, we untap, draw Copperline Gorge, go to combat, hit them for 3 in the air. I am going to play out Copperline Gorge in case they have a way to kill Elves of Deep Shadow and we draw a Tarka. That could matter. Opponent untaps, Coalition Relic, gives them a green. They play Arbor Elf. I think they played this Forest last turn. They do have Phyrexian Revoker, 1 unknown. They play Revoker. They attack us for 4, so we're going to take it. They manifest, we untap. We draw Mana Leak, which I do like. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 3. They named Urza off of Phyrexian Revoker, which is kind of interesting. So the concern is my opponent plays some kind of overrun effect and kills us. Or has removal for Vendilion Click. So hopefully Mana Leak is enough to protect us and stop either of those things from happening. Opponent plays a land. They added black mana. Animate Mutavault. They go to combat. They swing out. So we just like max prevent, right? It's like this. Worm Coil? You're not supposed to have the mana to flip a Worm Coil? Okay, that's a problem. Not what I anticipated having to deal with, and I think that may have gotten us. Drawing a forest definitely doesn't do it. Oh, the old manifest got us. All right. I'm gonna drop a mountain for an island. I think I want Char. Actually, hang on. If I'm bringing in Char, I may want Incinerate and just have a lot more removal for their dorks. If I do that, though, I need to cut some of our top end or harder to cast spells, which I think would be like Deranged Hermit. And let's take that island back out, put the mountain back in because I am bringing in more red cards. I probably would also cut... I don't know what else I would cut here. They're going to be mostly creature spells, so maybe Spell Pierce is bad. Like, we could hit a ramp artifact or a planeswalker, but I think the more burn is going to kind of counteract that a little better. I'll play first. This hand is awful. That's a mulligan. This hand is way better. I'm going to keep this hand, and I'm going to put back Spellseeker because I'm already holding Time Wolf. We really want another blue land, so I think we're going to play out Jace first and start looking for one. I'm going to lead on Mountain to save myself from Wasteland and potentially Strip Mine. Opponent did mulligan to 6 as well. They play a forest, they Mox Diamond, discarding a forest, and pass. We draw Llanowar Elves, so play Steam Vents, play Jace, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Dryad into a Mutavault. We untap, draw a Mountain, loot with Jace, we draw Char. So discard a Mountain, shock Stomping Grounds, and pass. I think I'm going to leave up Char. I could play Llanowar Elves, but I might loot away the Llanowar Elves, depending. This could give my... like, I'm going to wait, because if they play Whisperwood Elemental, I'm going to Char that immediately. Okay, opponent plays Nissa. They haven't played a land yet this turn. So they're going to play a land regardless of whether or not we Char. But they're probably going to fire up Mutavault to get in for a little bit of extra damage. Okay. I'm going to wait for them to attack. It's not likely that they're playing Spell Pierce or, in fact, any other color. But we are going to kill Dryad here. Take 2, go to 12. Untap. We draw a Miscalc. Loot with Jace. Discard Llanowar Elves. Chain Lightning Nissa. I could Time Walk, and that would give me another loot with Jace to guarantee that he flips. But I think leaving up Miscalc this turn is safer. Plus, I may cycle Miscalc if my opponent like only plays a dork and animates a Mutavault. Okay, I will Miscalc a Pelucranos. Okay, we untap. Really want a blue land. Alright, loot with Jace. Natural Order. So we discard Natural Order, because we're going to be able to flash it back. Then we uptick Jace on Elvish Mystic. Play a land. Time Walk. Next turn, we draw a forest, which is not a blue land like we'd hoped for Seagate Stormcaller. This sucks. I could just flashback Time Walk, but I'm like losing so much value by doing that. And we dug hard for this blue land too. I could play Stormcaller just as a blocker for Mutavault and like flashback a Chain Lightning to kill this dork. And then, you know, shoot them for 3 in the process. I think that's what I gotta do. So, play Stormcaller. Stormcaller's ability. Jace downtick for Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning Elvish Mystic. Cloned by Stormcaller. Chain Lightning their face. Man, if we had gotten the Time Walk off, I think we would have beaten them, just like hands down. Opponent untaps. They play Birds. They play Revoker naming Jace. How rude. I'm glad I brought in the extra burn, but I am still salty about not getting a second island. They're not going to go deep on some Mutavault play. We untap. I'm so annoyed. Play an island, pass the turn. No attacks. I would trade with Phyrexian Revoker, provided Jace isn't dying in the process. Opponent plays a Mox Emerald. We untap. Draw Uraga Tree Speaker. Play Tree Speaker. Level it up. Level it up. Pass the turn. We untap. Draw an island. Play an island. Level up. And yes, leveling up here does matter because leveling it up to level 5 makes it a 1-5 or a 1-4. Pass the turn. Elder Gargaroth is pretty damn good. It has Trample as well. Oh, deck! This is horrible. First, even after looting a ton, we just don't get to Jace ever. And I got rid of my natural order. I was like, oh, it's not like my opponent has... Oh, they're not killing Jace? That gives us a chance. I mean, I guess they only have to hit us twice. So, we get hit for 6, go to 6. Opponent gets to draw. We play Fyndhorn Elves. We untap. So dumb. Pass the turn. This should not happen. Not with the number of lands and draws we've had. This is just so unlucky. Garruk. Yeah, I think Garruk does it. Alright, they kill Seagate Stormcaller. They transform Garruk. Yep. So even if we block most damage, we still die. Oh, we drew so many lands in a row. I mean, that's gonna happen. If you play as many games of Magic as I do, it's going to happen eventually. It's just the law of large numbers. Like, you're gonna hit it. But that's so sad, because we're not on a trophy streak anymore. Unfortunate. See you guys in round 3. Alrighty. Round 3, here we go. That's a mulligan. Alright, well, we have all 3 colors of mana. I'm going to put back Deranged Hermit, and I'm going to lead on an island just to leave up Spell Pierce. If I get... We're playing against someone named Force Storm, so they might be forcing Storm. We'll find out. Play island, pass the turn. Really hope we don't get strip mined. If we do, we're going to get, like, max punished. Alright, it's a mountain. Into a Figure of Destiny. This looks like mono red. Okay, we untap, we draw a mountain, play a forest. Really wish one of those mountains was an island like it was supposed to be, but I forgot to swap them out in between rounds. Okay, it's red-white fun police. It's not just mono red. So we need to draw an island or a forest, really. Opponent plays Selfless Spirit. They attack us for 1. We go to 19. Well, we draw Mana Leak. That's something we can do. Play a mountain. We still we still need to draw a forest or an island. Opponent gonna go to combat. Hit us for 2, possibly 4. Okay. I mean, 3, possibly 4. So they hit us for 3, and they play an Abbot. I'm going to Mana Leak this, because they might be trying to dig for a land. Okay, they don't have a third land. We untap and draw Llanowar Elves. Play a mountain. Play Llanowar Elves. We have Spell Pierce for, like, a Lightning Bolt on Llanowar Elves, which would then allow us to cast Questing Beast, which I guess is good. Maybe we can race. So probably what they do is, if they have a burn spell, they'll lead on that. Okay. They're going to up Figure and swing. That's fine. We're not going to block. No reason to. Take 4, go to 12. Then our opponent is going to play Zergo Bellstriker. Okay. We untap. We draw a forest. Play a forest. Play Questing Beast. Currently can't be blocked by anything my opponent plays. Go to combat. Hit them for 4. Alright, opponent untaps. They go to combat. Attack with just Selfless Spirit. Okay, no blocks. We go to 10. Adonto Vanguard. Alright, we untap. Draw Copperline Gorge. Play it, because we're getting to close to Atarka mana. Go to combat. Attack. No blocks for the opponent. They go to 12. Pass the turn. If we draw in a second blue mana at any point, or if this mountain was an island like it was supposed to be, we could have clicked and had a pretty equivalent clock, or at least dealt with their Selfless Spirit. Opponent has a Baumat Courier. Alright. They go to combat. They're attacking with everybody. So we're going to block here and here. Actually, we're going to block here and here. They're either going to pay 4 life, or they could sack Selfless Spirit if they want to keep Vanguard around. But this takes more potential damage off of the table. I don't think we can win without drawing something else, though, is the problem. Alright, they are going to keep Adonto Vanguard around. I think they were trying to crack Baumat Courier there. So we take 5, go to 5. Opponent has lethal unless we draw a blocker or removal spell. Kytheon. Okay, he can't block. We untap. We draw. Just don't have the mana. I think we do want Incinerate at least, just to have more removal. Probably over Deranged Hermit. And I'm gonna cut... I still think cutting a mountain for an island is correct, even though I just brought in a red card. We have so much trouble drawing islands, but we have a decent number of red lands. Alright, I would like to play first. This might work, but I think we have better hands. What is with this deck? And just saying no islands for you ever, despite being our second most number of lands. Alright, we're going to try and make this work. I'm going to put back Vendilion Click and Control Magic. We'll start Copperline Gorge, Llanowar Elves. We're going to try and go for a turn 2 Nissa, which will at least get us to double green. So if we draw Questing Beast or Natural Order, that will be good. Opponent leads on Legion's Landing, so they get a Vampire with Lifelink. We untap and draw Questing Beast. Perfect. Play an island. Nissa. I didn't start Tree Speaker because the odds that my opponent had a burn spell was pretty high. And if they had a burn spell, we were going to be very sad. So without some kind of trick, I don't think they can attack this turn. They play Eidolon of Obstruction. Okay. We untap and draw Mana Leak. Play a Forest. Play Questing Beast, which is amazing here. Go to combat. Attack them for 4. They can't block. Opponent untaps. They play a land. They have this turn to deal with Questing Beast before we can protect it with Mana Leak. Skyclave Apparition will kill Questing Beast. Now I would really like to draw a Lightning Bolt. Or Natural Order. They attack us for 2 with First Strike. We take 2. We untap. We draw Bloodstained Mire. Play Bloodstained Mire. Play Tree Speaker. Level it up. Now I'm going to fetch Steam Vents. The question is when I'm going to do that and whether or not it's going to be tapped. And the answer to that depends basically on what my opponent does this turn. If we top deck Natural Order, pretty sure we just win because we can get a Tarka and wipe their whole board. Or we can get Hoof if it's lethal. When it plays a Adonto Vanguard, I will actually Mana Leak this. Just really hope they don't have like a Forked Bolt or something to follow it up with. They attack for 2 with First Strike. Yeah, if they had attacked with Skyclave Apparition, I would have traded. But it plays as Zergo. Plays Baumat Courier. We untap. We draw Incinerate. So, level up. Pass the turn. We're going to have to try and get them with the Incinerate on Skyclave and then, like, block the rest of the board. They're top decking, so the problem is they're going to flip this Legion's Landing, and that should give them enough gas to get very far into the late game. We don't have an answer for Legion's Landing. Opponent plays Kytheon. Goes to combat. They attack. Legion's Landing gets to flip. They exile the top card of their deck. We incinerate Skyclave Apparition, which gives us a 4/4 token. And then we block the 2 on first strike, trade with Zergo, and profitably block the Beaumont Courier, which they may sack to just draw a card. Okay, that's exactly what happens. We kill their stuff. They play Selfless Spirit. Alright. We untap. Draw Seagate Stormcaller. Go to combat. I think we attack for 4, because if they're willing to trade off their entire board, they basically only have a Danto, which will be a problem, but not for a huge amount of time. They can attack with Kithian and make him indestructible. We can block a Vampire. They play Goblin Guide. Hey, maybe we'll draw lands off of Goblin Guide, because this deck wants to draw lands so often. Maybe that's a thing that can happen. This deck is one of the most temperamental decks I've ever played. Opponent's doing the big think. When they go to combat, they attack. Hydroid Krasis is a great top deck, which means I'm only going to block like this, because I'm going to max out on card draw and life gain from Krasis. Okay, so opponent flips Kytheon into Gideon. So let's see what they do with their new Planeswalker. They untap Selfless Spirit and give it indestructible. We untap, draw Krasis. I think I'm going to leave up red mana. We don't gain anything, really. It's a 4-4 versus a 5-5 in the air, which I don't think matters. I would rather have the opportunity to draw like a lightning bolt. Okay, well, we can just hoof them next turn, and that will kill them. I should have left up blue, because then I could have played out Stormcaller for, if this was going to happen. There was no way to predict this. So pass the turn, no attacks. Opponent's going to make a 1-1 with lifelink. They untap, draw a card. I don't think they're going to animate Gideon to attack unless they think they've got lethal. Like, what would do it? If they animated Gideon and swung out, we'd block Goblin Guide. We could probably block Goblin Guide and Gideon. And Hoof would probably... Well, no, because Hoof... We have to tap our creatures to play Hoof. Okay. They're going to give Selfless Spirit indestructible. Play Seasoned Hollowblade. And I think they're passing here. If that's the case, we just play Hoof and kill them. I'm like 99% sure that it's lethal. We untap. Draw Dryad. Weirdest Crater Hoof I've ever had to cast. Go to combat. Alright. Going to game 3. Alright, deck. Now listen to me. I need enough lands in my opener, but I need to draw cards that aren't lands too sometimes. You did really good that last game, and I just need you to pull through for me for a little bit longer. Alright, so our opponent will be on the play. This hand is something. It's basically a mulligan to 6 because we have Hoof in our hand, which means if we're natural ordering ever, we have to get a Tarka. We have to. Did my opponent keep 7? They did. I'm going to try keeping this. We need to draw a few cards, but it might work. Opponent starts Mountain into Beaumont Courier. Hits us for 1. Okay. Well, I'd like to draw Mana Dork. That's good. That's good, deck. Thank you. Thank you for listening. You gave me exactly what I wanted from you, right when I asked for it. Thank you. You gotta be sure to praise him. Opponent plays a Plains. Goes to combat. Attacks us for 1. Yeah, I don't think we block. We go to 18. Opponent plays a Danto Vanguard. We untap. We draw Questing Beast. Alright, play an island. I think we Spell Seeker here. We either Spell Seeker or leave up Miscalc. Actually, I'm going to leave up Miscalc because if I draw, we can either get a good counter or we can cycle. And if the thing that our opponent plays is not absolutely critical to counter, we're going to cycle. Because if we hit a 4th land, we can natural order for a Tarka and then time walk after the fact. Opponent going to go to combat. They attack us for 4. Alright. Card under Beaumont. No blocks. Take 4. They play Zergo. That's fine. Come on, tap out. Tap out, but don't play anything substantial. When your only plan relies on your opponent being bad at the game, it's not a good plan. Skull Clamp. Okay. They're gonna Skull Clamp the Adanto? They could equip it to Zergo. That would actually be reasonable. I hope they don't have Burn, and I really hope that they're just leaving up Beaumont Courier activation. Okay, land. Jeez. Do we Spell Seeker or do we Time Walk? I want to time walk after we get a Tarka. Because that basically guarantees we win if we do. But if we draw a land, time walk for a Tarka clears our opponent's board. Okay, I'm going to do it now. It's the worst time walk in the universe, but it's still pretty dang good. We untap. There it is! Thank you, deck, for listening to me in my time of need. Natural order. Sack Llanowar Elves. Get Dragon Lord Atarka. Ping, ping, double ping. Opponent draws 3 cards with Bomat Courier. Is debating about paying life to Adanto Vanguard. They do. We kill Zurgo. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. So next turn we're probably going to play Jace and Chain Lightning. Something. And we may do that in the opposite order if my opponent leaves up double red. They cannot beat the Atarka! Man, we got to do some really sick plays with Atarka and Time Walk. So, thank you everybody so much for watching this video. If you like this kind of content, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. And remember, you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. Mad Meta Magic should be tomorrow. I've got an interesting deck lined up. As long as I don't forget between now and the time that I have to record, I have to help a friend of mine move tomorrow, and I've got to get up supremely early to start the whole process of everything that I've got to get done. And it is very late at night now because I had to record a twofer to make sure that I have enough stuff. So hopefully I've got the energy and gumption to get that all done. If you want to hang out with me and the people that you see in the Twitch chat on the stream VODs, please join the Discord in the link below, or the link is in the description below. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!